Welcome students, and my name is Mr. Baumgarten, and today we're going to find the area of composite figures. So go ahead and have your notes ready to go and we'll get started. So basically a composite figure is just a shape made up of other shapes and joined together. So we're going to look at this first one here. It's kind of a weird looking shape. So as I look at this, I can see a triangle and a rectangle. So what we're trying to do is pull out the shapes that we know, and then we're going to isolate them and then find the area of them separately and then join them back together. So as you can see here based on my arrows, I pulled out a rectangle and I pulled out a triangle. So here's the rectangle, here's the triangle. And if I look at this information here, I have a base of 10 and a height of 6, which is what I indicated over here on my rectangle. And over here, or this triangle, I have a base of 4 and a height of 4. Now you're probably wondering, well, Mr. Baumgarten, I see how you got the height of 4 inches, but how did you come up with the base of 4? Well, you're going to have to do some problem solving when you're finding some of the measurements for these particular shapes. So if I know I have a distance of 10 for this rectangle, based on my knowledge of rectangles, I know that the other side is 10, but they told me that this distance stopping here is 6 inches. So if I have, basically I'm finding the difference 10 and 6, which leaves me 4 inches for the base of the triangle. So that's how I came up with that. So let's look at this rectangle up above here. So again, my formula, so it's important to write the vertical process. I have the area equals base times height. When I plug in my base and my height, I have the area equals 10 times 6. And the area equals 60. Of course, it's in inches squared, but we're not quite finished yet. Now for the triangle, I have the area equals 1/2 base times height. So the base is 4, the height is 4, so I have the area equals 1/2 times 4 times 4, which comes out to be 8. Now remember, that's great, we solved the area for both of those shapes, but the original problem, right here, was those two shapes combined into one shape, a composite shape. So what we're going to do, and synthesis basically means to fine-tune, bring together all of our work and our thinking. So in a sense, like a conclusion in writing. So a synthesis. We have our area from a rectangle is 60, and our area from our triangle is 8. So my final thinking, and we're adding them because the shapes are just added together. I'm not going to multiply them. So my final thinking is 68 inches squared. So that is the area for all of this inside space of this composite shape. All right, let's look at another example here. So here's another interesting looking shape. And I think right away you can probably determine, well, there's a triangle connected with a rectangle. So let's pull out those pieces. So over here for the triangle, I have a base of 4. And remember, I found the difference of 12 and 8, so it gave me this distance of 4. And a height of 6, and I had to do the same thing on the height in this case. They didn't tell me the height was 6. I knew that this side was 4, and if I transfer that across, this distance is 10, so I had to find the difference between 10 and 6. That left me with a height of 6 feet for the triangle. So when I do the math, I have area equals 1/2 times base times height. When I plug in my information, I get the area equals 1/2 times 4 times 6. And my final thinking is the area equals 12. Don't forget, with the triangle, you need to divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. Now, when I take this rectangle over here and I break that apart, I have, and it's kind of nice because that's labeled for me, I have the area equals 12 feet for the base. Sorry, not the area. The base is 12 feet and the height is 4 feet. So when I plug in my information, I have the area equals base times height. I plug in my info, area equals 12 times 4. And my area is 48 square feet. Now again, these are separate answers. This is not answering our initial shape. So I got to combine that information. So I have 48 plus 12, because we're combining the shapes. I get 60 feet squared. That is my final thinking, and that is the area for all this inside space of this composite shape. All right, now it's your turn. All right, so here's an interesting one. Go ahead and give this a try in your notes and pause the video. All right, welcome back. So let's give this one a go. So my thinking here, I'm gonna separate this. I might not draw this exactly to scale, but all right. And we have a rectangle down here. So I have a trapezoid and a rectangle. And I know that if I drew this across here, I know that that's 6 transfers. So I have a 6 inches, 4 inches. Now again, I'm going to find the difference here. So if I have 3 and 8, this distance has to be 5 for my height. And then of course down here for my rectangle, I have a base of 6 and a height of 3. So just to recap on the trapezoid, my base of 6 came from this 6 of a parallelogram, so congruent side, it travels up to here. And then I found the difference of this distance with the distance of 3 on this side. I know that this has to be 5. So that's how I came up with that, finding the difference. And again, you're going to have to be doing a lot of math investigating on shapes like this for certain measurements. So area equals 1/2 times my height of base 1 and base 2, so B1 plus B2. So there's my formula. And the area equals 1/2 times my height of 5. And we'll plug it in. And base 1, 4 plus 6. It really doesn't matter the order, just be consistent. And the area equals 1/2, whoops, times 5 times 10. And unfortunately I'm running out of space here, so I'm just going to put it over here. It's important to keep it vertical on your paper when you're working. So the area equals 25, so 50 divided by 2. So 25 square inches. Now on this one here, this one's a much simpler formula, base times height. So base of 6 times my height of 3, area equals 18. Now, it's important, remember, we found the area of these separate shapes, but don't forget we got to combine them because we have a composite shape that we're finding. So, what did I have? I had 25 plus 18. And I'm going to add 20 and take away 2, so 43. 45 take away 2 is 43. So the area equals 43 square inches. That is my final thinking for that composite shape. All right, so hopefully you got all your notes down. Remember, you can pause me, rewind, watch it as many times as necessary, and we'll do a lot more practice during class. And this, with all the formulas that we're doing, it might be a good idea to make some flashcards. So writing a particular shape down on one side and then the formula for finding the area on the other. I think that might be a good idea and might be a wise decision. All right, see you in class. Thanks.